Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, 1,000 new jobs on the way to Bakery Square and stepping up efforts to make sure none of our neighbors goes hungry over the holidays. Plus a new documentary that celebrates the legacy of Dr. Thomas Starzl. But first, Philips Sleep and Respiratory Care is moving more than 1,000 regional employees into the city of Pittsburgh to a new building under construction in Bakery Square in the city's East End. Manufacturing, distribution, and service employees will remain in Murraysville, New Kensington, and Mount Pleasant in Westmoreland County. And John Frank is back with us. He's president and CEO of Philips. Here with him, his landlords, Greg Perlman, founding partner and CEO of Walnut Capital, and Todd Reidbord, the president of the company that's been developing Bakery Square. And welcome. Good to have all three of you back. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Last time I saw you was about a year and a half ago, and you had just opened a facility in Oakland close to the Pitt campus, and you hinted that there might be something bigger coming along. What's the driver? What's the decision? What are you going to be doing at Bakery Square?
Sure, Bill. So the last time we were together, we talked about the Shenley Place, which is located right in the heart of Oakland, and that was our initial exposure to the Innovation District. And our hope was that what we would learn from that experience is that our employees, collaborating in an open environment, working closely with the universities, the hospital systems, would create more engagement for our associates, but also help build our pipeline of new solutions for the therapies that we create. And so we've had, just for a short while, that experience, and it gave us the confidence that we should take this bigger move into Bakery Square.
Yeah, so Bakery Square. So you're currently in Oakland, virtually on the Pitt campus.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think of Bakery Square as sort of a hotbed of that university environment, but it actually is. There's a lot of synergies there.
Indeed there are. There's a number of synergies, as I mentioned, with the universities, both Pitt, CMU. We have the hospital settings as well. We have a lot of tech companies right in the heart of the area that we collaborate with that gives us optimism that we can do much more in the future in our business. I
think back to the beginning of Bakery Square when it was just the old Nabisco plant. Did you guys really envision someday you'd have companies like Google and then Philips and CMU? Was this the grand scheme all the way along?
You know, it's interesting. I think it was a little bit. I mean, we knew that the proximity to the great universities and medical centers would draw companies that wanted to be associated with them. So when we first started, we had groups that came from the University of Pittsburgh, from the Veterans Administration, and then obviously we were fortunate enough to permit Google to come and grow at Bakery Square. So it is our vision. It is our vision that when you're close and you're proximate to the universities, it really makes a great environment.
Couldn't predict the exact company, perhaps. But
never.
Had an idea there was a there when this unfolded. So this new building is going to, where's it going to be relative to the other buildings at Bakery Square?
It's that open green grass that we had saved for a new office building, and it's going to be over 300,000 square feet, and they're taking close to 6 stories of the 9. It's a 9-story building.
Wow.
And on top of that, we're also building a 1,000-car garage behind the old parking garage at Bakery Square on the other side of the street.
Okay, so this is a substantial investment even relative to what you did there before with Bakery Square too.
It really is. I mean, we're almost doubling the size of the office population at Bakery Square, which we think is great. I think that the synergy of all these companies working together in one environment, creating kind of its own little city and little environment there, as well as being part of the community, we think it's fantastic.
Plus our housing, our neighborhoods with the apartment buildings, and just being in that shady side, you know, East Liberty Market has just been amazing.
John, did you look around town and thinking about where to do this? And you needed a significant amount of space. It's getting harder and harder to find in the East End.
It's hard to find. It's taken us a while. We looked at a number of locations. Our criteria was, again, to be closer to the Innovation District. Finding a location to house more than 1,000 associates was also important. And then equally important was ensuring that our associates around the city had a good opportunity to get in and out of the city and back to their home. So with all of that criteria in mind, we settled on Bakery Square.
Now, what exactly are they all going to be doing there when you get the 1,250 all moved in?
So we will do research, development, and commercialization of products for people who have sleep disorders and those who have chronic respiratory disorders as well. We've been doing this for 40 years and having a lot of success at it. So we believe that success will continue as we see the chronic population of people continuing to rise over time. And as we envision the future, we'll need those individuals plus more to do the types of work that we've done in the past.
Well, and I was struck when I was out to visit your Oakland location that so much of what you're doing now is software driven, it's on the cloud, it's not just the medical device company like
That's
the old
right.
Respiratory 40 years ago. And so it makes sense for you to be in a hotbed of software development.
That's right, Bill. So the days of being a medical device manufacturer are still with us, but as we evolve, we find ourselves in the center of building a digital ecosystem, and we connect these patients in the home to their physicians, and in some cases their family and their payers. And on a daily basis, we are monitoring more than 6 million people every night with their therapy, and that takes a tremendous amount of talent, and the type of talent that you're talking about we think is right here in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, and right across the street in a lot of ways, given what else goes on at Bakery Square, right?
Exactly. I think that's great having this kind of this new component within our existing environment. I mean, they do so much fundamental research at Bakery Square with the Human Engineering Research Laboratories and the University of Pittsburgh programs. They are it's becoming a hotbed for that kind of innovation in healthcare and other similar technology-driven businesses.
So you think there's some even more opportunities for partnership?
Yes, we think so. And going back to the show the last time, we talked about our hopes of Shenley Place, and they in fact have helped us in a big way. Just one example is with the University of Pittsburgh. We have a competitive challenge with many of the physicians there who help us innovate new solutions for these patients that have these problems, and we think that is one proof point that we can do more of this in our new location.
Really exciting. So I wonder, Greg, Todd, you done? You're going to retire? Is that it for Bakery Square, or is there still more room and opportunity out there in the East End?
We're working on some things. Yes, soon. We'll be back.
Okay, we'll be back in the not too distant future.
Exactly,
Yes, is that what we're thinking, hoping? Greg Perlman and Todd Reidbord from Walnut Capital, and of course John Frank from Philips Respironics. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll see you in
Thank you
town.
very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, the new documentary, Remembering Dr. Thomas Starzl. Please stay with us.